we are repeating Q4 of 2022 in Q4 of 2023. We are going to see buyers back out or cancel.
Yep, I'm looking at it. I've gotten, I think, 4 or 5 deals that were in escrow, and then they canceled. And then anything that they could utilize to back out of the deal, they did.
If you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I think we are repeating Q4 of 2022 in Q4 of 2023. So what might that mean for different areas of the country? Well, to me, it probably means we are going to see buyers back out or cancel, right? Withdraw, whatever you want to call that. And actually, I should say, and we are going to see supply come off the market as sellers realize they can't get the price that they want. It is going to be a really weird Q4. But at the end of the day, we talked to Omar Alfaro down in the high desert of California, because in California, what happens soon happens in high desert first. So we talk to him every week, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure, Michael. Thank you for always having me. And
yeah. So I got to ask, what's going on? Are we starting to see cancellations or withdrawals, or whatever that vocabulary is going on in the market?
You know what? It's yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I just pulled it up right now, and let me see. Yep, I'm looking at it, and personally, I've gotten, I think, 4 or 5 deals that were in escrow, and then they canceled for whatever reason. The agent says, oh, they got cold feet, or they're not sure about the payment. My opinion, I think they got sticker shocked for sure. And then anything that they could utilize to back out of the deal, they did. Whether it's an inspection, whether it's an appraisal, it just gives them their out. Put it that way. Did they go buy another house? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think so. It may be, but I think again, I've been studying consumers for 30 years, and I'm going to take a wild ass guess that at least half your cancellations are the following. So when did these go on contract? Probably the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2-3 weeks actually. Even 3 weeks in.
So let's rewind the clock. Let's play Back to the Future a little bit. Let's go back 3 or 4 weeks ago. These individuals are shopping for homes. My opinion, they probably have been shopping for homes for months, if not quarters. The market is slowing down, so they're actually seeing inventory they like. They're not getting outbid. They write up an offer, and instead of being one of 20, they're the only offer, or they're one of 2 offers. They get into escrow. They're wildly excited because, again, they've been doing this for a year and a half. They're ecstatic. They finally got the home. But the price is higher than they've been looking at. The rate is stupid.
Dumb.
And is dumb, right? It's 8-9% based on credit. And then they go back and look at the payment. They probably celebrate getting into escrow. Then it just gnaws at them night after night after night. They have this 10 or 14-day inspection period or appraisal, whatever, right? They got basically a 14-day cooling off period. And at some point, they wake up in the middle of the night going, honey, we can't afford it. And then they find any reason to back out. I think that's what's happening for a lot of folks today. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the realization that they can't afford it. That's like, you know what? They have that dream of home ownership. They have and when I said dream, right?
Yep.
Of that home ownership, and initially at 3, 4, 5%, that dream was becoming a reality for a lot of people. 7-8% interest rates. That dream is no longer a dream. It's more of a nightmare if you're going to buy one. And I hate to say it that way, even though, hey, the whole saying of, date the rate, marry the payoff, or something like that. I understand that part of it. Yes, you'd rather be paying for yourself something versus rent, but at the same time, you're 7-8%. I mean, there's no way that I'd want to buy a house at 8%.
No, I mean, For a lot of people, this is not everywhere, but I would guess half the country, maybe a little bit more. But actually, I would guess it's probably a lot more than half the country. Now that I think about it, it's better to rent
Right.
than buy, right? It's certainly, unless you're a
Oh,
cash
it
buyer and
100% is.
all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's silly. So you know, so that's just the demand side. I have another thought about what's going on the supply side. We'll get that to that in a minute. So
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
what does this mean for demand, right? So again, we have all of these people who have been shopping for a long time. They get a yes answer. They go through this cooling off period. They realize they probably, even though the bank says yes, they just feel uncomfortable with the high payment, so they back out.
Right.
So what happens to that buyer? To me, that buyer is still interested because people don't understand about economics is demand is a two-step function. You have to be willing and able. You're not just willing, but you have to be able. So to me, that
Hmm.
demand is going to sit on the sidelines waiting for rates to come down. Now, let's just pretend those 4 cancellations you have, they were getting an 8% rate. I'm just making this up because I have no idea, nor do you. But let's just say 8. When do they come back? Do they come back at 7, 6.5, 6?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know, but there's some number where they go, 8 was bad, 7 is good, or 6 is good. So that's all kinds of stuff we need to figure out going forward. So that's on the demand side. But again, if you guys don't know, it's supply and demand. So now let's talk about supply. So sellers signed what's called a listing agreement, right? That's what it's called.
Right. Right.
So in the listing agreement, usually it's 90 days, sometimes it's 6 months. But there are, I don't know if it's clauses or whatever it is, the seller has the right to pull the listing, basically saying, I'm not interested in selling. Is that called a withdrawn or a can't? What is that called?
Yeah, that's being withdrawn, saying you don't want to sell anymore, and that the broker will let you get out of the contract. Yeah.
Okay, let's call it a withdrawal. So that's a category in the MLS, right? You can check a box saying this listing's been withdrawn, right?
Yes. Yes.
So how many of those do you think you've seen the last couple of weeks or whatnot?
Um, from from our data,
Yeah.
it looks like we've had like 20 withdrawn
And
this last
over
week.
you had 20 withdrawals in a week.
Hmm.
So again, your inventory is roughly 950. I think it's 940. You told me off air. So if you
Nine,
had 20,
yeah, 940 something. Yeah,
so if you had 20, that's 2% of the market withdrawn in a week.
correct. Yeah,
That's pretty
let's do
significant.
a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so
How many do
we
you have in a
have we
month?
have 19, we have 20, we have 16, we have 14.
So now we're at 50.
Yeah, so yeah, we're probably at 60, 65 withdrawn over the month.
All right. So let's call that 65 out of 940. Let me do the math real quick. That's like 7% ish.
Mhm.
That's a big number. That's more than normal, I'm guessing.
You know what it is, because in our market, remember, we're not the highest, we're most affordable in SoCal.
All right. So now
So
let's
if we
talk
have
about
a 7 or
supply.
8%, yeah,
Yeah.
decrease
That's
of
wild, right?
withdrawal, that's just tough. Yes, yes.
So okay, so now you're a seller. You get an agent in, they tell you what
Okay.
your house is worth. They want to sell it. They probably agree on some number that was yesterday's price, not today's price. They put it out there. Nobody shows up at the open house. Nobody writes any offers. There's no activity. Any activity is below asking. And at
Right.
some point, the seller goes, I'm going to stay put. Or they decide to sell. They do get interest, but they can't buy anything, right? Because there are sellers that are like, hey, it's time to move up. I need a better school. I've had a baby or I've had twins or whatever it
Correct.
is. And they realize, you know what? Shoot, bunk beds are a lot cheaper than a new home. So
Oh, that's so funny. Bunk beds are cheaper than a home. It's so true.
yeah, so bunk beds are going to go sky high. People are going to be buying bunk beds, and I think there's supply being withdrawn because you can't. People are realizing they can't move up. So I mean, it's just a wild housing market.
You know what? I don't. Yeah, it is a wild market. I don't. You know, I don't want to. be like the doomsday guy, but I have a feeling it's just going to get worse before it gets any better.
Well, let's play with that a little bit because I agree. And we got to dig on the word what gets worse. So let's play with that. What do you think gets
Right.
worse? What are your spidey senses saying?
I think well, obviously our affordability's getting worse,
Yeah.
um, big time. And when that
Mhm.
happens, more inventory's coming, more opportunities for buyers to really, if you're a real buyer, to get a
Mhm.
better deal. Um, but I think there's going to be a lot more cancellations, and I think that you know, I think rent might even, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's going to go down, but I have a feeling like it's going to go down more. The rent is going to go down because now there's so much competition. We don't have 13 or 14 applicants for rental properties. So it's like, what's happening here? It's like we're in this little weird,
Twilight Zone.
I don't know, this. Yes, it seems strange to me.
Yeah.
Yes, our deals transacted. Yes, our people still buying, our sellers still selling. Yes, but as a whole,
Mhm.
and as someone that has somewhat skilled, in this business, and then I feel bad for the people that don't have the skill
Yeah.
to
Well,
like weather this storm.
yeah. So and I've been calling for this for a while, and it's funny. I called this about 45 days ago. Transactions are going to get worse.
Yeah,
Redfin CEOs on record saying 4 million is the bottom nationally. It ain't the
four
bottom.
million.
That's what he said.
Okay, okay.
And we're going below that. I think we're going below this on Thursday. I think we're going to be like at 3.8, 3.85, 3.9, something like that. These are million
No
existing
shit.
home sales. And we're going lower
Oh
yet.
my gosh.
Dude, I think we go to 3.75, 3.8. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
That will be the bottom.
All right.
That's the bottom. Because there's
Okay.
always
Okay.
transactions, moves, deaths, divorce,
Okay.
cash buyers, all of that. But this winter is going to be the worst of it.
Let's
Rates are going up again today. The 10-year jumped like 11 basis points. The 30-year mortgage might set a record today. It is bad out there.
So you think it's going to get what, 8.5, 9?
What mortgage rate?
Yeah.
It'll certainly have an 8 on it. Yeah, it'll certainly have an 8. But
Damn, dude, that's crazy. With no rebate, with no extra like, hey, down payment assistance BS. It's straight 8. Like it's not, at least with Obama before, there was that, okay, you had a 7%, but then you had that down payment was covered, and then you
yeah,
made an $8,000 check or something like that back in 2012 or something,
yeah, whatever.
or
But
11.
but so again, I think I think this winter is going to be the worst of it. Then we're going to have to figure out what happens in Q1.
Ew, that's
If
crazy.
if Q1 rates are still over 8, ooh, watch out. If rates are in the sevens, we go back to that story earlier where what number does the buyer show up? Because we know that eights is where they turn off. Do they come back at
Mm-hmm.
7.5? I don't know. Do they come back at 7? I don't know. Do they come back at 6.9? I don't know. But that's the game we're in right now. This affordability thing is a problem. It is going to crush transactions, take it to a low that very few people saw coming. And yeah, this winter is going to be rough.
Dude, you know what's crazy? It's like, what do you do as an investor in Q4, Q1? Do you sit on the sidelines, or you just
You
jump in and
buy better.
buy as much as you can? That's it.
No, 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 no.
Buy
You
better, buy better, buy
buy
better.
better. It's not volume.
Deeper, deeper.
Deeper, deeper. Yeah, like for example, if you would have done a deal, I'm just going to make up numbers at 420 all day long. That deal now you need 385, 390. You need to realize the deals you were doing were good deals. Now is the time for great deals. More margin.
More margin, greater deals. Yeah.
That's the key. Because again, what you're buying now will be available in
Mhm.
the spring. And who knows what the spring will bring. It could be wild and bananas like last year, or it could be tough. The only thing you could do is control what you're buying now, and you need to buy better. Only great deals, people. Only great deals.
Interesting. Yeah, you know what? It does create some type of like um curiosity. I'm questioning a lot.
Yeah.
Before I just used to shoot.
Yeah.
And right now I'm even questioning some of my deals that I have in escrow.
Yeah. Well, to buy, it sounds like we're talking about deals to buy.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of want to cancel two of them just by this conversation.
Well, again, if you have that feeling now, the answer is yeah, you do. I mean, let's just be
Mm.
honest, right? If your little spidey senses are saying based on this 10-minute conversation, you need to cancel two deals, you need to cancel two deals.
Yeah. Because we can remember that best deal is the one that you don't buy and you don't put
Sometimes.
yourself in that
All right.
situation
Dude, remember the
sometimes.
conversations we had in April? You lost money. It was the deals you bought now
Uh-huh.
that you lost money on last year. We're
Right.
repeating it.
Right. Yeah, you know what? You're right, because I did. Yeah. Yeah, 100K loss.
That wasn't fun. Let's not do that again.
No. No, I think I'm gonna chill. I think I'm gonna chill. No, this is good. This is good, Michael. I mean, it's definitely questioning my, I guess, questioning the future of what the values are going to be,
Yeah.
because that's what we base everything off of as a,
Yeah, of course.
as an investor.
It all starts with ARV. What do you think you can exit? And then you back off that. You include profit and cost and holding cost and, you know, private money costs and all that other stuff. It all starts with the exit. And if your exit's in doubt, you got to buy better. And again, I want to be clear, and maybe we'll make this video number two. I'm not telling anybody to stop. In fact, I'm telling people to work harder,
No,
buy deeper.
right. Buy deeper.
There we go. Omar,
Yeah,
where can people follow you
that's
and become
it.
part of your team?
Guys, follow me on IG at Invest with Omar, and or go to my website, omaralfaro.com.
Thank you, buddy.